Hi, my name is Kimberly Swanson, and I am an instructional designer. My background was in music education. I taught mostly children, and then as the years went on, I also taught in the university and then also private lesson settings, and found that I loved teaching adults. And that kind of started to propel me into this world of learning and development for kind of the corporate world and for adults. So, my current role is as a learning architect. And within my team, my small team, we have 4 learning architects. We also have a project manager who is so helpful. And we have a learning administrator as well as a few other support roles. Now, my team focuses on creating content for technical roles, meaning we are working a lot with software engineers. We're working with creating trainings on different programming languages, on setting up your development environment as a software engineer. And that's what a lot of my day-to-day looks like, is I am talking to SMEs, learning about what tools they use, what pain points new employees are having as they're trying to get onboarded and become part of the company, learning about what is working currently, where current employees want to upskill and want to learn more, and how we can support them in that. So, a lot of my day to day is talking to SMEs, kind of collating all of that information, and then creating some kind of an instructional design document, which then gets developed into a learning experience. So a lot of my day is the ADD of Addie. We do also obviously do the implementation and the evaluation, but that ends up not being as much a part of my every single day daily routine. Now, on a larger scale, obviously we also work to talk to other teams within the company. We're in a large company, talking to other teams about how we can collaborate, doing quarterly retrospectives to see what's working well with our team, what we could do to improve and to iterate. And that's one thing that I really love about this industry and this position that I have, is that there's a focus not only on helping our clients to learn and helping them to grow and helping them to develop, but there's also an emphasis on allowing ourselves as professionals to develop and to learn and to try new softwares and attend conferences and to work together and to collaborate and share ideas. And so that's part of what my weekly and monthly work life looks like, as well as working with others and learning from others and working on my professional development, seeing what we can do to make things better next time. How can we continue to maintain and improve? And my advice to you, if you are starting out in the field, would be to be okay with making mistakes and to find your community. Find people that you can learn from, that you can collaborate with, people who will help you out when you're getting stuck. Make sure that you're reaching out to the community, because we really do have a wonderful community.
Hi, my name is Liz. I'm from ID session cohort, I want to say 3. I work as a program manager for the learning design and development team. There's about 3 of us currently. I think we're hiring another one soon. Our bigger organization, there's about 100 of us in our company. We're an education-based company, and we do everything from showing up and teaching a course specifically for a client on, coding perhaps, to delivering e-learning content and that sort of thing. Most of our product is in software, computers, coding, programming. That's our area for the most part. We are expanding into medical. Most of our programming is also geared towards adults, so we don't really do K to 12 or that sort of thing. It's usually specific companies coming to us with whatever they need, and we do everything from off the shelf to fully customized. Let's see. On a daily basis, I think my day starts like everybody else. I start furiously checking my email, trying to get as much as I possibly can done. And then I start rolling into meetings. most of my meetings are revolving around my IDs, who we have working on specific projects, making sure they're staying on track for whatever the program I'm working on is. Um, Sometimes I do feel the role of ID still. That doesn't happen very often. Mostly we contract a lot of our IDs out. We're getting a couple that are going to be in-house with us soon. I'm really excited about that. But for the most part, my day revolves around making sure my contractors of various jobs are meeting their deadlines. They have what they need to meet their deadlines, and that we're not falling behind on any of our projects. Less sporadically, I do some ID work myself. I don't do it a whole lot, and it's usually for a couple of very specific projects. And usually it's going to be something that if I don't do it, we're going to roll over a deadline and everything's going to be late. Okay, so the difference between my job specifically and instructional designer that we would contract is well, obviously I'm a full-time employee, but I would have normally a team of instructional designers working for me. And depending on what I'm doing, I have typically 7 to 8 projects running at a time. So I have IDs that I've hired out to come up with whatever the materials are necessary for that particular project. Sometimes I have them working in storyline and making, full-blown e-learning things. Otherwise, I have a lot of ILT that I have to have developed. So I usually have a lot of ILT study guides, job preps. Those sorts of things are made by the ID team for me and my company. I don't really get involved in the details of it, except I've created, the onboarding documents that say, this is what I need. Here's the templates if I have to have a specific background or whatnot for an ILT. Or if I've created something already that looks or is very similar to what they're going to be, I'll give them that. But for the most part, I myself am not creating anything. I'm managing the IDs themselves. I do sometimes do the ID work, but a lot of it is me just hiring it out to other people, making sure they're staying on target. I think for my skills, for my particular job, a lot of mine came in from things that I had done before the academy, which is how I ended up in the management position instead of just a straight into an ID role. But in order to get my ID role, it was because I knew so much about Articulate specifically. And I knew I was more advanced in PowerPoint and the various Microsoft Office products. And then from back in when I was an undergrad, I did take a graphic design. So I'm pretty well versed in the Adobe software. And I'm in some sort of Microsoft product all day working on something. I could be scripting, we use Microsoft Projects, which is similar. It looks a lot like Excel, but it helps us, it does project management for us. So I mean, picking up something as far as software with a project management, even the Trello boards is a really big deal. And then what else did I do? Oh, and I'm working on my PMI certification now just to make sure I can stick with my management stuff. But it's Articulate was a really big deal. For me, if I hadn't had the Articulate, especially PowerPoint and advanced skills as far as PowerPoint, I probably wouldn't have gotten my job as a manager.